Good morning, or good evening, good morning, good afternoon, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. It's a good time to be out of Babylon. Let me tell you, because I just got a call from one of my subscribers and friends that came out to visit me a couple years ago, 4 years ago to be exact. Jim, hi Jim, and Deb, how you doing? Um, but he called me, said that there's scuttlebutt on the internet. Canadian Pepper, and Pastor Joe are, saying that the big one's about to light off. Well, oh boy, yippee-ki-yay. Don't be in Babylon when that happens. Don't be near Babylon when that happens. I've been saying for 20 years, rule number one of survival, get out of the cities. Rule number two of survival, get out of the cities. Rule number three of survival, get out of the cities. You shouldn't be anywhere near a major city, especially not things like Chicago, LA, Las Vegas, Dallas, Fort Worth, New York City, Miami. They're targets. They have a big black X painted on them. If you go back to, this was in Denver. No, it was in Kansas. So in 1999, Y2K, we were doing Y2K. We had really good friends all over the country. We made friends with them over the phone because they were repeat customers. We talked for like hours. One day I was sitting there on the sofa at the desk. I don't remember which, but I had a newsletter on my lap from Prophecy Club out of Topeka, Kansas. We'd been to a lot of them in Colorado and Denver, but this one, and in fact, the man I'm about to mention, I heard him speak in Denver before he passed away. Let's not start that again. That was pretty bad last night. I'm going to type some loose ends from last night, but if I can remember them all. But Dumitru Duderman, Dimitru, Dumitru, Duderman, Dumitru Duderman. He was a Romanian. He grew up in Romania, pastor. Was tortured. If you've not read Richard Wurmbrand's Torture for Christ, you should read that. Brother Andrew, they smuggled Bibles. Well, Dumitru smuggled Bibles, and a lot of miraculous things happened. He was electrocuted. He was beaten. He was burned. He was stabbed. He was, left for dead in the cold. And miraculously he survived all that. And then God told him, go to America and warn America because I'm going to judge it. So he came over here and he started. And he had a lot of dreams and visions and prophecies. So I'm sitting there with the newsletter. Stan Johnson is the head of Prophecy Club, and he really absorbed and took in Dimitri's message. The judgment was coming to America, and a lot of the speakers were, their theme was like Emmerman, James Emmerman. That man was a Green Beret chaplain for the Green Beret. And the friend we lived with in Kansas for 4 years knew him, remembered him very clearly. So anyway, Jim Emmerman had a series called I think it was 2 DVDs or something like that. The Imminent Russian Invasion of America. This was back in, before we left Denver, 93 to 97, right in there. One of those years. Probably 93, 94, 95, something like that. And he, what did I do with my coffee? I'm going to cry. Okay. Suck it up, big boy. Pull up your big bog pants. Okay. So Jim had, ones on that. Dimitri, his was just, I don't remember any titles, but I heard him speak in Denver at the Holiday Inn at 104th and I-25. And it was packed. I mean, usually you had the room open, there's about 400 people in there. Well, that room was open. The divider for the next room was open, so there were about 800 in the room. We were outside in the foyer. There's a huge, giant foyer with a baby grand piano, which my son-in-law tickled the keys for after the meeting. Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Maybe you'll hear this someday. Anyway, so I'm out there in the foyer, and I'm up on the balcony. The floor's packed, the balcony's packed. And I kid you not, I literally looked up. There were chandeliers, and I looked up to see if anybody was swinging from the chandeliers. Just had that feeling like this place is so packed and so full the Holy Spirit, that it was just amazing. And his son was speaking. Michael Boldia was speaking. You know, he was the interpreter for his dad because his father only spoke Romanian. So anyway, that was pretty amazing. People revving engines out there. I don't know why. Let's wake everybody up. We're stupid. You gotta drive like a teenage race car driver. So Dumitru, I was leading somewhere with that. Oh, yeah, the prophecy, that prophetical lizard had just come out. I had it sitting right by me, and then if you open to the middle, it was a map of the United States of America, and little nuclear explosion bombs on all the cities that Dumitru said were going to get nuked. And the phone rings, and Karen's on the phone from Portland, and she goes, "Hey Jerry, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, pretty good. How you doing?" And I said, "What's up?" And she goes, "Do you think Portland's going to get nuked?" I said, "Hold on, I've got the map right here." I open it up. Yep, Portland's going to get nuked. Why do you ask? Because every night I wake up with a nightmare that I see it. I'm standing at the plate glass window of the house, and in the distance I see a nuclear explosion. And as the blast hits and shatters the window, I'm holding my baby in my arms. I survive because my baby dies, and the baby's over my chest, and the baby's shredded with shards of glass, and I survive. And I wake up drenched in sweat every night. I said, "Hey, how about moving?" "No, we got a nice house. My husband's got a good job. We don't want to leave." Maybe they have by now. I hope they have. Hope they've left by now. God doesn't give you those dreams to sit on your ass and with your thumb up your butt or your head up your ass. Pull your head out of your ass and move. I'm sorry. Okay, Jan. You need a delicate operation. It's called rectocranial extraction, auto extraction. You need to do a self surgery and pull your head out of your ass. So, autocranial rectal extraction. So anyway, yeah, that was weird. One of the weird things. So, you know, I just gave a book to Timothy, and Insight. Oh, shut up. Okay. Anyway, maybe we'll talk about that tonight. But Pulling Through It by Dean Ing. I looked it up on eBay. One people wanted $123 for it. It's a little mass market paperback. We might be a nuclear war. Price goes up, man. So sad, so stupid. I've been meaning to get J. Crow from jcrow.com. Lugol solution. If everybody might want to get some Lugol solution, or any kind of iodine, you put it on your hand, put it on your elbow, put it on your throat, put it on your forehead, put it on your throat, whatever. Just get some iodine in your thyroid. That way, if there is a problem, you'll have protection from taking in radioactive iodine. I went over this the other night about, there's 4 halogen elements: iodine, chlorine, bromine, and fluorine. Okay. And they're all attracted to the thyroid. They all go to the thyroid. The thyroid would collect them. If you have iodine in your thyroid, you can't take in any of those other 3, which are all not good for you. Okay. And it cannot take in radioactive iodine because your thyroid's full. It's like you can't put any more water in a glass that's full. If your thyroid is full of iodine, you'll do really well. And the other thing is that every 17 minutes, your blood goes through your thyroid, and the thyroid is like a filter. You can get a water filter. You get a water purifier. A water filter is like a British Berkfield with water goes through a filtration media. You can make your own out of charcoal, sand, all that. But you can get a water purifier. A water purifier has a media in it with iodine matrix in it. It's got like a iodine, so because iodine will kill bacteria and it'll kill viruses. Some filters are the Aquarain, Bob Burney, who's a friend of ours. In fact, my son tried to marry his oldest daughter, but that didn't work out. Anyway, so he married another girl there. But anyway, Bob Burney was competing with the British Berkfield, and even though they were competitors, we never had any harsh words. And he always said, another distributor said, seller Scott Peterson said that we ought to go visit Bob's church because we did a lot of the same things. So we did eventually, and Ian married into the church. My son-in-law is trying to marry into the church. Some way he sort of did with his kids. So anyway, details, details, details. um, so iodine is very important. Get you some. Get any betadine. Put it on your, your hands, back of your hands. Put a little bit on the back of your hands. If it's gone by morning, that means you need it. Put more on. Put more on so you don't see it, until it stays on your hand. That's what you want to do, or your throat or whatever. It looks orange. It looks silly, but who cares? You'll be healthy. Hiroshima. I put this together talking to a friend James the other day. Spent about 10 hours on the phone with him the last couple of days. Um, Chernobyl. The only people, they're old Russian women who are babushkas, medical, like midwives, probably midwives and everything, old home, remedy things. And they make a remedy with a black walnut hull tincture, and people don't get sick from Chernobyl, from the radiation. So do that. And that rang something with me. I've always been telling people that the doctor at one of the hospitals in Hiroshima did not lose a single patient. It did not lose anybody working there because he made everybody eat miso soup. But I was just, when James told me that, I was like, wait a minute here, miso soup. I was just connected to miso, but what are you going to put, if you're living in Japan, what are you going to put in miso soup? Seaweed, kelp, yeah, very high in iodine. That's your iodine source. Source is a good, from any Valley Vet supply. Tonganoxie was Valley Vet's in Maryland, Kansas. Tonganoxie was Vetvax. Vetvax. But you can get online, go to Jeffers, Jeffers, Jeffers.com. Go to their horse catalog. Okay, they got pig catalog, they got dog, cat, sheep, goat catalogs, online. But to go to the horse catalog, the equine catalog. Horses are equine, equine, right? Equestrian. You're a horse rider, you're an equestrian, right? So you go to equine catalog, because what is the most valuable the most expensive mammal on earth? It's not human beings, it's racehorses. So go there and get you some source. It's made for horses. You add a little bit to your horse feed and it makes them healthy. So I've been through that before. Do it. So, anyway, my attitude is, what do you think about war Ukraine? What do you think about nuclear war? Won't affect us that much. I mean, unless we get nukes nearby, Fort Leonard Wood, and there could be some problems. There's nuclear reactors in. There's one in Rolla, I guess it is. Yeah, I just somebody told me that, and James did. Anyway, da 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 da. Yeah, I wrote a poem way back when, after Oklahoma City. See if I can recount it. It starts off with, from the book of Daniel, deeds. That they shall be strong and do exploit. The people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. So it's kind of took off with that verse, and it goes, deeds are about to be done which before have never been seen by people who know their God, who are steadfast, strong, and serene. And then one of the verses was about, if I can put it together in my head, but it was something on the order of, had to do with having faith and being, Daniel and his three friends. Daniel's three friends wouldn't bow down to the king, So they made the furnace 7 times hotter and threw them in, and the guys that threw them in burned up, right? So it was a very hot fire. And yet, they were seen in the fire walking around with the fourth, which was the Son of Man, looked like the Son of Man. And of course, the king was like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." It impressed everybody. Um, so one of the verses was something like, "Daniel's 3 friends refused to bow down," and that was, by the way, that passage there. When when I woke up in 1993, and my family they were all with me at the time. I was a survivalist since 1980, and in 1993, I literally said, "God, I'm tired. I'm depressed. I'm lonely. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody believes in it. Am I just spinning my wheels? I'm going to quit doing this, and I'm going to be normal. I'm going to become normal. I'm going to buy a house, and I'm going to get a job." Because we were always doing service things, cleaning, whatever, and sales things to not get a real job. So we had a below the radar, under the radar type thing, signature. So we slipped through the cracks for all those years. Anyway, pretty much. From 85 to 97 was an interesting period. Yeah, 12 years there. So anyway, back up. I was going to quit, all that stuff, and just become normal. Well, that's when I woke up. The Lord just sent me actually it was a Vietnam vet that gave me a newsletter about FEMA and black helicopters and FEMA camps, things and all that stuff. Oh, I got freaked out. One of the first people I talked to was a guy who lived in Whitehall, Montana, and commuted to Denver did landscaping. They could come down for a week and go back to Whitehall, Montana. But anyway, I talked to him, and he goes like, he says, "Man, when you heard I've been hearing that stuff for 20, 30 years." He says, when you hear it that long, you just get bored with it. And that's exactly what happened with us. We got, who cares? My son, at one of the presentation conference we went to called The Shocker by a guy, gone blind guy out of L.A., Pastor David Wyman Wiggins, something like that. Had a W in it. But anyway, and it was a shocker because Elaine's best friend Yvonne said to her, if my daughter wasn't here with me, her oldest daughter Nicole was with her. She said, if my daughter wasn't here, I would be laying in the middle of the aisle in a fetal position, crying my guts out because she was just so horrifying what she was hearing to her. So my son, I'm in. We went to take a leak in the bathroom. Ian's in the right urinal. There's an old man at the left urinal. And the old guy looks up and says, "This is pretty." He's almost shaking. "This is fairly disconcerting, isn't it?" And Ian looks down and he goes like, "Man, we've heard as long as I have it. This gets boring, So it does, It's like, oh, well, I've heard that a million times. And Canadian Prepper's been, he's Chicken Little. I like him. I love him. Does great videos, but he's always about getting out of the cities. That's my song too. I mean, he does good product reviews, definitely, and he's got a lot of really good equipment. And he's probably one of the best prepared people in the world, Yeah, right up there with some of the best. But, that then again, and Y2K, I got into it. My wife and Yvonne came back from the homeschool seminar, and somebody had stopped at work to screech home, and the thing would go into chaos, and nothing was going to work. The power station wouldn't work, the home phone system wouldn't work, da da da. And at first I went, who cares? I don't care. We're out here in the country. We're out here in Kansas. Who the hell cares about that? And then I thought about it for about 5 minutes. Oh, wait a minute here. Prepping is good. Okay, I went whole hog. I don't care if it's going to happen or not. People are scared. Let's deal with it. So we became, distributor for cylinder stoves and then British Berkfield filters. And by the end of the year, I had about 200 different products. I'd call somebody and say, "Hey, this is Jerry Diamond with Pilgrim Products. Can you send me some of that product?" Sure. And they'd send it to me just on my word. It happened like 100 times. Yeah, sure. In fact, I just had it the other day when I was out there working on the skid loader. It was, I'm gonna cry in a minute, but I'll try not to. Holy moly. Toward the end of the year, one of the products we started selling was Nitro 9. And every other week we would meet at a like Sirloin Stockade or something. I think it was Sirloin Stockade in Topeka. And about 10 to 20 families would be represented there. maybe not all of them, but most of them. Family members would be their mom, dad's kids, babies, everything. It was a really an awesome thing. It was like having church. And my wife and I, we like tag team. We were just, like this really well-oiled machine at the time. A lot of grease and sand got in the grit and the gears and it broke up. But anyway, but we would do a new product every week, or we'd talk about, seeds, garden planting, or fermenting, or whatever it was we were dealing with. A lot of times it was a new product we were picked up. Well, one of them was I just started doing the Nitro 9. They're little 50 milliliter bottles. I'm gonna get some pretty soon. Um, and so we started selling those, and I put it in a 1976 Grand Prix with a small block engine, 400 small block. It was a big tank of a car, very heavy car. Jeez, I'm sorry, retards. Um, and the carburetor was bad, no question. It had bad. The chokes were bad on. I think that was what it was, but you could feel it going diagonally down the road. It would Well, the front was going forward, the back would go backward. The left would go back, and the right would go forward. You could feel it going choo 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 choo. So I put that in the fuel, the engine stuff in the oil stuff in the engine, the transmission stuff in the tranny, and the fuel stuff in the gas tank. Let it run for a while. Took it out on the highway, on Highway 75, coming out of Holton, Kansas. And at first I was like, "What the what's going on?" I was shocked. And then I realized what shocked me was the fact that there was dead silence. There was no rattling, no nothing. There was no movement, and it was like driving a brand new car off the showroom floor. Even though this was 1999, I was driving a 1976 car, and it felt like it was a brand new car off the showroom floor. Was my feeling. It was so smooth, and because of the lack of vibration and everything, I was getting about 7 miles per gallon. I should have been getting about 10. A big V8 engine, though. I would have been getting about 10 probably, but because of the bad carburetor, I was only getting 7. I put that stuff in. I went from 7 to 19. Now I should have been getting 10, and I almost 20 would have been twice that. Let's say I would have been getting 9. I doubled my mileage, right? 9.5 gallons. I would double my mileage, and it almost tripled at 7 to 19 to 21 is 3 times 7. So I almost tripled the mileage that I was getting, and almost doubled the mileage that I should have been getting. So somewhere in there, it was it was a hell of an improvement. So anyway, good stuff. So the other day I was looking on eBay, and I looked around. I went to the website, and I wrote in. I said, "Hey, I'd like to. I regret never not continuing to sell this stuff. I was selling in Y2K and AJ, and AJ Wichita was the guy that owned the company. Well, years after I was selling it, Y99, I stopped selling it, and I'm guessing about 2011 or something like that. I called the company up expecting to get a secretary, and he answered the phone, for crying out loud. Hey, this is Jerry Diamond. Like, oh yeah, Jerry Diamond, I remember you. Yeah, I'm like, geez, it just tore me up. It was just so awesome that he remembered me. It was just weird. Like, I don't use the word unbelievable, but it was amazing. It was impressive. Wow. I mean, I'll tell you what. So anyway, I called and I wrote a thing in, customer request. Where's the distributor? I used to sell this stuff. I really would like to get back. I wanted to get back into it, and the phone rings while I'm sitting there. Ian's working on his skid loader, and the phone rings. I'm like, Monica Williams. I don't know the name, Monica Williams. She explains it. So I got up and walked away and went in the greenhouse and sat down and talked to her. And she goes, well, AJ passed away in 2017. But we're still carrying on the torch. And we talked for a while, and she said, "I'm happy to, sell you the stuff at dealer cost, and you can sell it, and help you out." So I want to sell that stuff, and get behind me on that if you would, because I mean, we had Let me tell you what it does. It's a subsurface metallic lubricant. It penetrates the metal. If you put it in a copper pipe with a cap slotted on the one end, put a rubber plunger in and plunge it, it will come out through the copper. It will come out through the pores of the copper because copper is not very dense. NASCAR They used to rebuild an engine after every race. When they started using this stuff, they started rebuilding an engine every 10th race. They didn't have to rebuild the engine after every race because it wasn't worn. They'd tear it apart and go, "Well, there's nothing wrong with this engine. It's perfectly good. We don't have to do it. Let's do it every 2 races. Maybe they went every 2 or 5, or whatever." And they thought, well, we can rebuild the engine every 10 races. We don't have to do it every race. That was going to save us a whole load of money. So anyway, we had so many weird stories about it. One family could only afford one of them, so they got the fuel additive. That mom called me on. They were driving a full-size V8 van, big family van, you know. That lady called me on. I was like, could not hardly get her off the phone. You know, it was like on and on and on. Jerry, thank you so much. This is awesome, man. We're getting this bit, double our mileage, blah 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 blah. And I was like, And finally, I was like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta do something else. It was funny. It was so cute. Just one of the product, one of the three. I can't imagine what they'd have done if they'd gotten all 4 of them. So anyway, all 3 of them anyway. But they have a lubricant for bearing, weird grease, bearings, uh, transmission, automatic and standard rear ends, all kinds of gun lubricant. You can buy a 55-gallon gun, $10,000. I don't know what it is. It's a lot. Militaries all over the world use it, so it's good stuff. So I'm going to sell it. Use it. It'll save but you can put it in your chainsaw, your quad, your whatever is metal on metal. And AJ taught me one thing. I've never forgotten this. He said you can never over lubricate metal. And this was verified by one guy when I was working for Rick Allenbrandt, Tri-State Traffic Control, and he had a Bear Creek Tactical shooting range, and he did landscaping, and he raised deer and stuff. But he had a guy's cutting a path for a phone line or something, power lines or something like that, just doing a whole lot of logging there. And I talked to one guy for a while. He was out doing some work, and he said, for ever since I've been a tree feller, lit timberjack, I've always put 2 little bottles of that oil mix in his 2.5 gallons. You usually use a little, if you've ever seen it, a little teeny bottle about 2 ounces, something like that. About that tall and about that wide and about that thick. I think about 2.5 ounces, maybe 3 ounces. And he always put 2 of those instead of 1. You just put 1 in you have a gas can with 2.5 gallons. You put that in 2.5 gallons. That's your mix. You shake it up. That's your mix for your chainsaw and weed whackers and all your 2-cycle stuff. He always put 2 of them in. He smoked a little bit, but he said, I've never, ever burned up a chainsaw. And a friend in Kansas had bought a brand new chainsaw, Husqvarna, and fired it up, and he ruined the engine. And the guy took it in. He said, this is under warranty, right? And they go, yeah, what'd you do to it? And he goes, nothing. I put gas in it and ran it. Where'd you buy the gas? He told them. They said, well, stupid. Sorry, you can buy a new chainsaw. We don't warranty for stupidity. But what he had done was he bought just regular gas that had water in it, and you only buy premium gas. No alcohol. No alcohol. Now it's getting harder to do that, but there should be somewhere you get. One friend, I mean, he does a lot of logging. He goes to the airport in Stockton and he buys aviation fuel. I mean, pure high grade, really, really good gas. So, like $4 a gallon. That was kind of what it is now. But anyway, buy the highest grade, cleanest gas you can. And if you're going to run a chainsaw or anything like that, shake it up really good. Because if there is a little bit of water in it, at least if it's shaken up, it'll be dispersed. If you put it in with the water non-shaken and it goes in there, the water hits that engine, you've just burned up an engine. Exploded it, scored the piston and cylinders or something. So don't do that. Pick it up, shake it, especially in the wintertime. Shake it, you get really hard. Shake the can, shake the device before you even start it. Shake the chainsaw up. So, blah blah blah. Yeah, this might be the last time I stream in bed. Did a lot of cleaning today. I had spent in such a long, hard day. I was just going to go over to the Airstream and start a fire and stream from over there and come back over here and do a video over there and then come back over here and then stream later. I think it was 3 or 4 o'clock. It was 7:45 when I looked. I was like, oh my God, I'm done for. And about that time, my body just went, hey, shut up and get in bed, quit. Okay, sounds good to me. Try to get an early night tonight and get to sleep and get up tomorrow and do something else crazy. Probably do up to the fire over there tomorrow. Do a startup. It's it's chilly. I woke up today and was like, man, it was raining all night and just drizzling and cold and dreary and one of those nasty days. And I was like, normally I would not have even gone outside. Well, I got outside. I got over the Airstream. I cleaned up over there. I came back over here and I cleaned up over here. I cleaned up the next to the bed. And I got the master shoved over so I'm safer. So I didn't get it shoved upward. It's about almost a foot away from the head of the bed. But I think if I either put something vertical over here, like lever and fork, if I do that, and I got a piece of wood, I can use the lever, and there's a wooden crate over in the corner, so I have to get it clear of that, and then I can shove it up, push it forward, and then I think I can do it. If not, my son's going to come over, or somebody can come in and do it one of these days. I cannot get back there and push at the same time. You're bent over, it's up in the fifth wheel, you got, bent over, and like, no leverage, no power at all. And I thought about when tomorrow I'm going to try to pull it over from the other side. That might work, I don't know. Anyway, and do something to stop it. I'm gonna put a rail over here, like a 2x4, something, not 2x4, but a 1x4, something like that, a slat, so it can't go past that point. I'll fix it so it won't happen again, man. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. We're talking about nuclear war, blah blah blah. Who cares? Oh, I was talking about my poem. Daniel's three friends. Daniel's three friends in the book of Daniel. Don't bow down to the king. Well, I was in so many rabbit trails here. I'm about to remember. Okay, where I was. So Daniel's three friends. They said that was a passage that my wife and I we didn't baby our kid. We didn't mollycoddle our kids. We just took them to every the meeting we went. We took our kids with us. They heard everything we heard. We determined not to people shelter their kids. Oh, that my son-in-law would put a screen around his wood stove so the kids didn't know it was hot. Well, one day I had a wood stove out in a teepee tent out there, and he said, "No, that's hot." And I said, "Yeah, it's hot. Of course it's hot." Well, don't let my kids around it. So his son James was in there, and next day he's got this like deep suntan on his cheek. I said, "What happened to you?" And he goes, "Well, it felt so warm. I put my cheek on it. So pipe." I was like, "Oh shit, that must have hurt like hell." Ow! Our kids, we dealt with them like this stove is hot. Here, put your finger on it. Oh, that's hot. Yeah, pain. It hurts, right? Don't do that again. And like gun safety, people don't let kids touch gun. Don't. There's 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid here. They won't let her touch a gun. Well, holy crap, you blinkety blink blink. My attitude. I read this and it's making all kinds of sense to me. So this is what we did. Here's a cantaloupe. Here's a watermelon. Here's a 12 gauge. Boom. Don't mess with this gun. That's what it'll do to you or your mom or me. Don't fuck with it. So I remember seeing a gun thing. They had two cinder blocks, a heavy piece of steel, plate of steel across them, a John F. Kennedy 50-cent piece on this piece of steel, a steel can of water or steel bottle of water on that, and they fired it at I remember the caliber. It was a 243, which is 24 caliber, not a very big caliber, but high speed. Like it's a neck down 308. Boom! I hit it with that. Broke the cinder blocks. Imprinted the Kennedy 50-cent piece on the bottom of the can, and of course the can exploded. They shot the can, not anything else. One round, blew the can up, imprinted the 50-cent piece on the bottom of the can, and the downward force of the piece of steel across the two cinder blocks shattered both cinder blocks. So do that for your kids. Teach them that this gun's dangerous. Don't mess with it. I was in Oregon one time. We were on a camping trip, a tour through the Pacific Northwest Redoubt states. Yeah, not at the time, but they are now, supposedly. Anyway, and I see on the desk there, there's an old farmhouse in Oregon, out in the desert, bunch of rattles, from rattlesnakes. I knew what they were. I don't know, those were rattles. Right next to him was a 12 gauge shotgun. And then my little kid mind went, "That gun is loaded." I didn't touch it. I know. But we weren't going to shield our kids from all this stuff. We took them to every meeting. If there was a prophecy meeting, they went. If there was a political, patriot meeting, we went. If there was a militia meeting, we went with the kids. You know, live fire exercises in the militia. Yeah, yep, done that. Have lunch with the FBI. Yep. Take the kids with you. What the hell are your kids doing with you? Oh, just thought I'd take them wherever I go. So piss on you if you don't want them here. The other thing. So what we said was, this was our attitude toward the whole thing. Be it known unto thee, O King, that our God is able to deliver us And if he chooses not to, if he doesn't, we're still gonna blow raspberry in general. We're gonna, we're still gonna blow. We're still not gonna serve you. So we're still not gonna bow down to your idol, your new lord or whatever. So do your worst. So the poem I wrote, this comes that same passage there, the fire. Um, Deeds are about to be done by people. Deeds are about to be done which before have never been seen by people who know their God, are steadfast, strong, and serene. If you're steadfast, you're strong, you're serene, you have faith, you're going to do great deeds in these last days. And then I talked about how Daniel's 3 friends in the fire. I put it together in my mind a while back, but it's been a while, so I can't recount it for you. But basically, what I said was people are going to walk through fire, but the fire they're going to walk through is nuclear fire. I just saw that in my mind. I wrote the poem. People being able to walk through a nuclear fire. So, if you're with God, and if you're a remnant believer, if He's got your back, if you gotta walk through fire to get out of the city or whatever, you can do that. Don't worry about it. We're going to see things which before have never been seen. That's one of them. So, um, we took our kids all to the meetings. I'll never forget one time I was sitting on the bed, and my daughter Susie was on the bed. She's about 5, 6 years old, pink dress, a little pretty pink dress, and I'm loading a 100 round magazine for an SKS, an AK-47 rather, And I thought I'm going to see if she's been paying any attention to these meetings. And I said, "Hey Susie," "Yes, Daddy." "Why would you wear camouflage?" "So you can't be seen." I said, "Why wouldn't you want to be seen?" "So you can sneak up on them." "Why would you want to sneak up on somebody?" Yeah, I've changed a lot, but now I get camouflage. I can't find my damn stool. It's a camouflage stool I got at Walmart for $2.50. And every time I turn around, I can't find it. I left it sit somewhere, and oh my gosh, I had it lost it for almost a week. Real funny. Found it out at the tractor. And I remembered vaguely sitting it against something, and you know, it was sitting against the tractor. But I checked the tractor by my fifth wheel, and then I was ready to go out there. But my son told us the other day, but my son was out there, had just gone up skid load. He came running back full blast, so I came back the other way real quick. So I wanted to say goodbye to him, give him a hug, and tell him I loved him. My entire life growing up, this is to my sons, 3 sons that don't think that much of me. My entire life, I don't ever remember my father ever saying I love you or hugging me. So there's that, as Richie from Boston would say. So there's that. But I digress, as Richie from Boston would say. Oh, I got to turn over a little bit. I've come to quite a few realizations lately, but one of them is what I was talking about last night was pretty much all leading up to one thing, which I didn't get around to, and I probably won't for a while. Not that important to anybody out there. Well, it is, but it's really, really important to me. I'm trying to remember if anybody's ever familiar with David Barton, Wall Builders. Any of you out there remember that? 5 people have lost you. Too bad. Wall Builders. So I heard him speak, and I don't know what year. I'm guessing could have been 80s, early 80s maybe. And he said that God did not let him begin his ministry until he found his Ezra. He's the Nehemiah. He's the wall builder. That's the name of the ministry, Wall Builders. And he needed an Ezra, the scribe, the prophet, the prayer warrior, the spiritual guy, to back him up. And I thought, oh, that's what I need is an Ezra. Then I went, oh no, I am Ezra. I need Nehemiah. So from that day to this, I've been wondering, where is my Nehemiah? And if I had $100,000 for everybody that said, I'll be your Nehemiah, I'd be a millionaire. All right. I think the open monologue is about done. start seeing some amazing things happen as far as I'm concerned. All right, let's see what interaction we got here. Who's out there? Let's chime in. What do you say? Roll call. Roll call. Where is my stylus? Ah. Oh, hey. Let's set some light on the subject. Come on. Go here. It's on. What am I looking for? I have no idea. Somebody tell me what I'm looking for. Who's on? Okay. I don't know. I was going to look something up real quick, but I guess I'm not going to look it up because it's not going to be that quick. Bam. Anybody on? Say hello. Sarge, checking in. Hey, how you doing, Sarge? Zapton Kaboom. He's always the first one, man. That's something. Looking good, bro. Was planning on asking you about Stan Johnson. Why are you asking me about Stan Johnson? What's the question? There's Yo-Yo. I just jumped in the middle of the conversation. No, that's okay. You guys go back and listen. Yeah, we hug and they love me somewhat, but just it'd be nice to get more support from him. He said, "Sorry to hear that about your son," and I'm like, "Well, they're all three of them are here. That's a nice thing." I have 5 children. One's in North Carolina. My daughter married out of the Ozark Plateau. It sucks, but they can get here fast. They can double drive and whatnot. They've only got one baby so far, so it would be a light trip. They could blaze out here. But my sons, yeah, I could have more support from them. After the divorce, my oldest son, gave me a Father's Day card, right? And it said, because it was like, got divorced for my anniversary. And Father's Day is always right after that, so. But it said, I forgive you for being a poor dad. Now, he didn't mean what I took it to mean, but, so it wasn't real encouraging. It wasn't real happy, Poor dad, in other words, I thought, well, he's saying I'm a lousy dad, and he's forgiven me. No, that's not what he meant. There's a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that Robert Kiyosaki, whatever it is, out of Hawaii. That's what he said. I'm a poor dad. I'm not a rich dad. Well, in my book, I'm rich. Everybody else that we hung around with have been multi-generation. Their religion is multi-generation. I went from being a brain-dead pagan Catholic to where I brought my family over in a space of from 77 when I got married to 97 when we left Denver. 20 years. In 20 years, I went from being, well, I wasn't a Catholic at the time. I was Catholic as a kid, but from 73 when I became a believer, that's when I left the Catholic faith. So from 73 to, 93, big changes. But in the space of 20 years, I went from, I did in 20 years what took people generations to do. Several generations of families to migrate. I did it in 20 years. 2 moves from Denver to Kansas and Kansas to here. So, and as far as my library goes, I'm wealthier than anybody else in the country because I got a library full of books. I'd like to get protected and safe somewhere where they'd be appreciated and used. So, anyway, yeah. Was that I chicken in or cooking in? I can't read that. I chicken in. Checking in, yeah. So, Sarge, what do you want to ask about Stan Johnson? So anyway, we've not sheltered our children. We've brought them with us to all the meetings, and as a result, by the time my daughter was 10 years old, my oldest daughter was 10 years old, she was babysitting, watching all the kids. And if we had to go somewhere, she would stay and watch the kids. And my mom did not like that at all. That threatened to call us. I said, "Mom, she's mature. She's old enough." Well, how was she really mature enough? She's mature enough. She got married and probably pregnant on her 16th birthday to a 26-year-old man. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. Okay, so I think that I'm gonna start reading books. And I'm gonna say this too for hopefully everybody read. Not very many people are on right now, but I hope everybody that normally listens to me stream will chime in here and check it out. Listen to this video tomorrow. Um, Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work with a couple of people who said they'd help me set up and open up an Amazon store, maybe a Walmart store too. But Amazon's got everything I need, and way to to support, to buy things that you need, and also to help help this ministry. Well, here's what I do. I got a wish list. Well, go to my. I'll post it, but if you go to Amazon for I don't know how you do that. My How to Get Out of Babylon wish list, and that's my wish list. So what you can do is pay it forward. Buy that for yourself. Buy things. I have a list on there. There'll be a whole bunch of products before long. Buy what you need. If you're thinking of buying a tent, buy the type of tent I'm recommending. And then you buy it and it gets sent to the person that. That's what my understanding of it. I'll call them again tomorrow and ask them, but I think that's what it does. You pay for it and it gets sent here. So buy that for to have one sent here and have you sent one, and then I'll have something here for somebody when they get here, like a tent and a shower and things like that I'm already working on. But that's what I've been doing for 20 years, buying things at my own expense or somebody that I haven't met yet. That's what I do. So, but it's gonna get more people coming in fairly soon, and what we need to do is have a way for them to go to the bathroom, a way for them to have a night's sleep and have a warm shower and have food, have a kitchen. So it's very, very important. So that's what I want you to do. Pay it forward. Buy one, send one. Buy one, send one. Send one, keep one. Soko, send one, keep one. Send me one, keep one. Now here's the other thing is, and this isn't for me to just sell or keep. They'd be kept here. And oh man, I need some water. Hang on. I made a cup of coffee and I didn't bring it up here. Dad, gummit, retard. Many years ago, I have gone to about 7 conferences or seminars on building refuges for people to keep people safe and keep them alive. And one of them was titled Kingdom Community. And the speaker was Michael Peebles from Dogwood, Missouri, pastor of a Nazarene church there. And they are very well organized. They're one of the best organized places around. They have captains of 10s, captains of 50s, captains of 100s, men who are leaders, I just found my first captain of 50, or 100 rather, so, or for a million. But anyway, Michael was the speaker, and because of he'd been spoken before in front of us all before as a speaker at a conference, like with 200 or 300 people in present. But this was a different setting, more personal. We're all sitting down in the living room, fire there, fireplace and whatnot. So maybe it was because of that, but I just felt like he was just kind of feeling his way with the audience, kind of being careful. And I was just about to get bored, and all of a sudden he started talking about things that were like, he hit the nitrous button on a race car dragster, we went from lollygag into light speed, hit warp speed, Mitsulu, boom, I was seeing stars flying by. But right about that time, one of the things he said was that every single farm here in the Ozarks should have 10 to 50 people from the cities storing things on their property. So that's what I'd like to do here. That way it's here for somebody when they come here. And if you get here and we've used your stuff, well, we'll make it good with something else. But if you have a storage shed here, same thing Pastor Joe's doing, but he's charging you. You buy a shed, you put it on his property, and you fill it with whatever you want. But if you cross ways with him, the thing stays there with your stuff in it. That I don't think is. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. You don't take your shed with you; it stays. You cannot take the shed. Maybe you can take your stuff out. I don't know. But anyway, I would like sheds here with stuff in it, living quarters. Some bathroom facility. Composting toilets, nothing else. Just stuff you need: shelter, sleeping bags, food, water purification. British Perk Filter, something like that. If you want to store a gun or two, that's cool. Ammunition, obviously. So, just all the survival stuff you might need for your family. Tent. So, but there's no reason not to do that. And the times are getting dicier and more where we need to do that. We need to do that, okay? Well, Michael said it could be a 55-gallon drum. In one 55-gallon drum, you can put, a sleeping bag, some food, water. He said an SKS, a couple hundred rounds of ammo. Fire starting stuff, camp gear, whatever, sleeping bags. That could easily be done. This bag that I'm using right now, this thing folds up about smaller than a basketball, about the size of a soccer ball, smaller than a soccer ball, a big cantaloupe. It's pretty darn small. It comes in a stuff sack, and you can actually stuff it, mash it down till it's darn near round, about 9-inch diameter. I'm just using one of them. That's all I've used all winter long. I love it. It's Ledge. 45-degree featherweight bag, I think is what it's called. 45-degree bag. Been fine for me all winter long. So, anyway, except for that one night when the power went out, I had about 5 minutes to decide what I was going to do to stay alive. I got a big Ledge bag out of the closet and got in it and used this one as a baffle. I streamed that night. I went ahead and streamed, but I was in the bag and I was okay. I knew it was going to be okay. The other option was to go over to the Airstream, which wasn't really set up to even sleep in. Get a fire going. I'd probably die doing that, so it wasn't a good option. So I just stayed here, sacked in, and stayed warm. So, but that's what I want to do. If we cannot get outside of ourselves, I mean, for I don't know. Since 1980, I've been spending probably $400 a month on things for other people. Okay. And somebody's going to come in here and help. I give them stuff. Here, take this, take no. No, I'll take it. Yeah, I got 10 of them. I got 50 of them. I got 100 of these. Take 2 of these at least, Sleeping bags. When Alice came out from New York to meet me and to go on to the Crestone Energy Fair, I don't know if he had this planned or not, but we walked out to his car and I looked at the passenger seat and I said, most people when they travel, they got all kinds of crap in their car and they got food and drinks and sleeping bag and a notebook and stuff in the front seat. There was nothing in the front seat. I said, there's room in here for me. And he goes, yeah, there is. Maybe he planned it that way. I don't know. It was a great time. But anyway, Alistair is so sweet, such a cool guy. And that was a backstory introductory trail, and I forgot my point. Back up what I was thinking. So before he left, I gave him a zip together pair of sleeping bags. They're kind of like this one. They were small. They weren't. I think they were supposed to go down to 0 degrees. There was some hot smoking new installation stuff. They were very small. They were about twice as big as this one and thing. About, I'm guessing 9-inch diameter and 12 inches long, 9 by 12. Very small, very lightweight. So he told me he went camping with his girlfriend and that they used them, And she got too hot, got in her own sleeping bag. I said, well, all that friction, all that movement, the friction creates heat, don't you? Don't you know that? He's a pretty scientific guy. I don't know. I never did hear back from him on that. I mean, I did. He's always talked before, but I kind of was giving him a little bit of a hard time. So, but yeah, zip-tier bags are phenomenal. That's one thing everybody should have. If you're a family of four, get two pair of sleeping bags because your husband and wife can sleep in one, stay warm. Two kids can sleep in one, stay warm. You get three people in two bags real easily. So even full size people. Survival stuff. Last night was almost all on Jezebel and spiritual stuff, and I had a lot of loose threads on that, and I thought about them. I don't know if I can think about them right now. There are quite a few loose threads on that, and I'll come back. I'll get back to them as I have thought to do so. Tomorrow I'll probably stream. Probably it might be during the day. It might be toward the evening. I might stream over there at night if I haven't feel like doing it during the day. But I might go over there and get the stove going and do a top lit demonstration of a top lit upside down fire. So and a couple other things that are valuable. Okay, Sarge, Stan Johnson. Okay, Stan started a thing called the Prophecy Club, and it's based out of Topeka, Kansas. And we went when we lived in Denver. We went to whenever there was a meeting. We went. Most of them, almost every one of them, and all the speakers were about prophecy. That was prophecy where we study prophecy. He has this line that he always uses where we study Bible prophecy. Anyway, a lot of good, really good lectures there. Like I said, Jim Emmerman was good. The imminent Russian invasion of America. Dimitri Duderman had a lot. Some were just Bible studies on various topics. I remember the Al Neal word deal. That was an interesting one. I call it Al Neal's word deal. He has videos and a video. He has this computer like mine, and he started noticing that the first time a word is mentioned in the Bible, if you did the gematria on it and add up the numbers of what it was worth, it was in that chapter of the Bible. Does that make sense? I'll give you an example. The first time the word Satan is used in the Bible is in 1 Chronicles 21, when he says Satan came to present himself before the sons of God, before the throne, before God. You add up Satan, and it adds up to 359. I'm missing something there. I don't know what it is. But anyway, Satan. What's the 359th day of the year? Santa Claus Day, Satan Claus Day. Interesting. Anyway, Prophecy Club was a bunch of speakers on different topics. One of them was Thomas Cook, I think he was. He was an LA police officer who wrote a big, huge 8.5 by 11, 2-inch thick book on the implantable microchip, Mark of the Beast. And it was like a hammer and a nail, just hitting that nail. That's one point over and over again. This is a implantable microchip, Mark of the Beast. I'll never forget one thing he said. I still like to say this in a Forrest Gump. This is from Thomas Cook, but in a Forrest Gump kind of thing, let's do a lot of you out there that are listening that aren't doing anything. You can stick your head in between the ties of the railroad track, and you won't see the train a coming, but your butt is still going to get run over. So don't do that. The Bible says a wise man, when he sees a beast coming down the path, get out of the way. Just get out of the way. There's a beast coming down the path at you if you're in a city. Get out of the way. Do it now. You better do it now if we're to prove our hopes. Have time to plant a garden, start a new community, and be trusted, learn the ropes. A statement here from Michael. Next up, Michael says, not a question, but he says, I know what you mean about books. I always imagined that heaven will be a library full of books and they were only filled with truth. Michael, come on. Are you listening to me? Are you serious? You've imagined that? Say yes or no. I'm going to read that again. Michael Allen says, I know what you mean about books. I always imagined that heaven will be a library full of books and they were only filled with truth. I had a kind of similar one, but my kind of secret hope was like, I'd like to be able to read all the books I bought someday, but um, if you my pet theory is if you make it through the millennium, if you make it through this whole what's happening here now, and you get into the millennium, which is 1,000 years, and you live for 1,000 years, I'll have time to read all my books. But you're saying eternity. Okay. When I was in Arkansas, one of the widows I was with to help on her land, possums and raccoons, she read to me. She has a whole collection of books about people with near-death experiences and what heaven's like. And in that, one of the books that talks about the fact that heaven, every book that's written on earth, there's a copy of them in heaven, but they're all perfect. So how'd you imagine that? I think you imagined truth. So, yeah, there's copies of them in heaven, but they're all perfect. If the book had one good point, it's there, but the rest of the book is also perfect. There's no error in them. So, yeah, it gives me hope because I got a massive library. I got a library larger than probably 99.9% of the pastors in this country, and college professors also. I stopped collecting books. Well, I stopped building my library when we left Denver, but we always bought books, and it's been growing, but very not like it was then. I worked at Christian Discount Book Center for about 5 years, from 75 to 81, 6 years, I guess. And I amassed one heck of a good library. John Bunyan's collected works, Jonathan Edwards' collected works, Thomas Manton's collected works, John Flavel's collected works, Richard Mann's collected works, Thomas Mann's collected works, yeah. Richard Sibb's collected works. Oh my gosh, they're all over the. Apparently, it's a home for raccoons, possums, and armadillos. We got a lot of valuable stuff over there, people. We got to get that stuff out. Timothy's coming back. We're going to get some of that stuff out when he's here. We're going to go over there and visit that place. Anyway, so that's all there. It's either here nor there. It's either there nor here. So, 8 people. Somebody else. Who else chimed in? Say hi. I guess my eschatology is, yeah, I guess your sentiments, yeah. Why, what's your eschatology? Hmm. So, Michael, are you a millennial? Is that what you're saying? I mentioned the millennium, or you're saying no to that or something? That's fine. I don't care. Um, Actually, the bookstore people were all millennial, and I read a lot of that. I'm kind of a cross between the two. I don't like preterism though, or dispensationalism. Yeah, yeah. The bookstore manager he said, I can't stand the Dake's Bible. I open up and there's the stench of Arminianism. It, offends my nostrils, and I like to throw up. Who else chimed in? Come on. Yeah, in eschatology, I'll tell you something. I did a study on for 20 years. This one verse just had my interest. I would nibble away at it, study it, come back to it, ask people about it, study it, come back to it, study it again. Just it just intrigued me, niggled at me, constant irritation, or not in a bad way, just a presence there. Like there's something in that verse that I need to know. And one day I toured it with the Hebrew, and when I was done, I said, "This is the greatest code cracking in the history of mankind." But well, I've said this before, and I believe this is going to be true. That if you figure out all the different cults and denominations and differences and people that argue with each other, and there's probably about 799, maybe 800 different interpretations of end times prophecy, and only one can be right. So it's 800 differences. One's right, and the other 799 are wrong. And then I always say, actually, it could be that they're all wrong, and that God can bring about the end times in a way that nobody ever foreseen, ever could have foreseen. And I believe that's going to happen. Genesis 49 is the key. So there. Pretty awesome. So I'm a non-millennialist. I'm a whatever. Okay, well, I think, what are we at? Not hour, yeah. I think I'm about done. I think it was anything else from last night. I was going to look at something on my other computer here. I don't remember what it was. Can't you just be normal and stop being a stupid thing? Dumb computer. So I'm going to on Amazon. I don't know how it all works. I know I can have an affiliate store where you go buy what you want through my store. You don't make it pay any more, but I get some little token, 2%, 5%, something racked up on my bill or something like that. I don't know. But even simpler than that is maybe simpler. I don't know. I have a wish list. How to get a Babylon wish list, and if there's a product in there that you think you need, and I'm recommending it, I'm only going to put things on there that I think you really need or you should have. Okay. If you think you can do that and you can afford to swing one and send me one, pay for that one and then buy yourself one, great. But I want to have stuff here for people to survive, stay alive, and the life you save may be your own. So it'll build up, it'll get exponential, it'll grow. That's where you buy one, send one. BOSO, buy one, send one, buy one, give one, send one, keep one. SOCO, I'm going to play with that. Send one, keep one. SOCO, or buy one, give one. BOGO, buy one, give one. Buy one, give one, maybe BOGO. But let's start doing that. Let's get serious. Let's start saving. Be able to save some lives. I felt from the start, back about 20 years ago, that the work that I would end up doing would be the difference between life and death for 250 million people. 250,000 people, sorry. 200, could be 250 million. 250,000 people. Now, last night when I was talking about the guy that called me on Monday morning after the Wellford Neighbor Lunch Picnic, Joe. And I thought I was talking to Joe Bennett because he told me about raising money and this and that, and the gardener idea. Second Chronicles 17:23, I think it is. Shema took his stance in Lentil Patch and defeated the Philistines. He defended the garden. So garden, Guardener, gardener, dressed up as a sheriff with his gun on and everything. And he said, I'm raising over $500,000 as an initial thing and $10 million. And I just seen the movie the night before. Extraordinary Measures. Finally, thank you, Tim. Thank you. Extraordinary Measures, yeah. With Harrison Ford and Brendan Fraser. But the guy needed $500,000 as a down payment to a retainer fee for this research guy, Harrison Ford, eccentric research guy at the University of Nebraska, and with an overall goal of 10 million. There you go. So And that was a background and introductory bunny trail that I didn't need to get into. Um, buy one, get one. I was doing buy one, get one, pay it forward. Oh man, and this is really, really important. But all right, chill. Don't get upset. Take a break. I'm getting cold too. Um, buy one, get one. Where did my train of thought go from there? What was I talking about? Anybody out there? Um, yeah, okay. Buy one, get one. Because need to start helping other people. Synergistic. Synergy is going to come into play. We got exponential. Reach critical mass. We'll have a thermonuclear reaction. Yeah. Buy one, get one. People on the ground. Help people stay alive. 250 million. 250,000. Oh yeah, the Joe David Butler, the guy that Monday morning he's talking to me, and he said, I said, well, look, if someone would come along that was better qualified, I would be happy to serve them. And he goes, nope, you can't get out of this. Moses tried it with God. God's giving you a job to do it. And one of the first things he said was, I consider you an authority over me. And I'm like, whoa, dude, that was impressive. I think it was an angel message. Um, and then he said, well, is there? He actually said, "Our figure of money that you think you need?" I said, yes. He said, how much is it? I said, 18 million. He said, you'll get it. Because like I said, I wanted to get people, and when I made the deal with Mike Leathers, I wanted to. I give him six. If I get the 12 million, I give him six. If he gets the 12 million, he gives me six. He upped his figure to 22, and I upped mine to 18 because I wanted to be able to still give those other six people that I'd asked $1 million. So, um, so I'm saying I've got other people in mind here because people that I would like to do it to are proving to not be trustworthy. That's really sucks for them. So then he said, yeah, toward the end of the conversation, he asked a interesting question. He asked me this. He says, "When you were a little child, did you think that you'd be used to save the whole world someday?" And I went, yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, yes. And he goes, "Well, there you go. That's what you're gonna do." Wow. So was that an angel or what? Pretty strange. Oh, so anyway, okay. It's bedtime. I don't know what time it is. Anybody know what time it is? All I got is my counter on my clock. We're an hour and 14. Started about 8:30. Yeah, okay, so it must be about 10 o'clock, right? Okay, Michael, yeah, shoot me an email a little bit. I won't be, I don't argue about anything, so I'm not going to get over it. Like you don't try to convert me, I sure as heck ain't going to try to convert you. Oh, I just saw this. Sarge, is he what he says he is? What does he say he is? I don't know. I assume you're talking about Stan Johnson. I don't know anything about that. Okay, well, let's say goodnight, everybody. I'm going to say goodnight. Goodnight, Zapton Kuboom. Goodnight, Sarge. Thank you for chiming in. Goodnight, Gaddy Anton. Goodnight, Michael. By the way, if you guys look at Gaddy Anton's thing, there's that blue wrench. If you see a blue wrench, that means you're a moderator. If you're on here and somebody chimes in with some goofy crap, they're a troll, you can remove it or do whatever. But I kind of would like to know what they're doing, who it is, or what it's up to. But you can remove it or you can put them in timeout, which I'd prefer to do. So, good Good night, Michael. That's it there. Okay. I'm going to sign off. Good night, everybody. Any last questions? Get him in quick here. Good night. Good night. Good night, you character. A character. All right. Good night, everybody. God bless. Be safe. Pray for me. Try to see. Hey, you guys, see if you can go to the Amazon and see if you can find my How to Get Out of Babylon list. If that's possible. I don't even know if it is. I want people to do that, and then I'll keep that. What I want to do is come up with a prioritized list. I mean, some people have this. You just skip it. Okay, I got good boots. Skip that. I got a good car. Skip that. I got I got a good tent. Skip that. But make sure it's a good tent. Make sure it's a good whatever it is. Okay. Good night. Hallelujah. Bye bye.